Hello, this is Meryl Cook. I'm a contemporary rug hooking artist, and I'm also a writer, and in my business Meryl Cook Engagement by Design, I work with corporate leaders and their teams to help with well-being and engagement. I'm very pleased to be part of the Connections and Contrast show. Today I'd like to tell you a little bit about my design process. So my design process begins with my journal. I write and I sketch in my journal first. And then most of my designs are simple, abstract images that reflect the body feeling or sensation of what I've been writing about. For example, my mat in the show called Surrender is a mat I hooked just after I had published my first book. I was wondering if anyone would buy my books and what direction my career was going to go, etc. I decided that I needed to surrender and trust that life was unfolding exactly the way I needed it to. The body feeling of surrender was the gold circles that you see in the design, and that was where the design started, with those simple lines. Part of my design process is to take the words from my journal that inspired the design and write them on the linen around the edges of the design. They become a sort of meditation as I hook. In most of my pieces, these words are found on the back. On my most recent piece, The Door is Open, I was writing about getting rid of things I no longer need, which leaves the door open to feeling taller, louder, and more exuberant. This is the first piece where the words are on the front of the design. I've recently taken up wet felting, and this is my first piece to incorporate wet felting. Since 2016, I've worked mainly in the chakra colors. My Wild Woman series is perhaps the best example of this. Each wild woman is hooked in all of the chakra colors because a wild woman is in balance and flow, so all of her chakras are vibrant and alive. My rugs are hooked on linen. I mainly use wool yarns, both commercial and hand-spun, which I dye and spin myself, as well as new and recycled wool fabrics, which again I mostly dye myself. I also use sari ribbon, which is recycled saris cut into strips, and velvet. You can see a lot of my hand-spun yarns in my Boundaries series. I've recently learned to wet felt and am beginning to incorporate that into my work. I hook mainly on a Shedicamp frame, although when I travel or when I have multiple projects on the go, I also use a lap frame and one of my mom's hoops. I think the most thrilling aspect of being part of this show is seeing how Brant has grouped my pieces with that of the other artists. It really changes the way they look, and the groupings to me are just beautiful. So thanks very much for inviting me to be part of this show, Brant, and have a great day.